Good morning, boys and girls. Okay, so today we're going to do number corner. We're going to do number corner for yesterday and today. So yesterday, I'm going to just flip the number card for yesterday, which was Wednesday. And I'm going to flip the number card for today, which is Thursday. Today is Thursday, September 10th, 2020. So on the very first day of school, we talked about number corner a little bit. And we said, Miss Johanna, I remember that number corner has a bunch of different patterns. So we looked at our cue cards, right? And we noticed that something very particular was happening on our cue cards each day. And what we ended up deciding as a class was that on the day of the month, there was the same amount of item that is on the number card. So for instance, on September 1st, there is one circle. On September 2nd, the question mark on the chart, the question mark that's on the chart, like 1 plus 1 is 2, that's the same thing. 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, so this input-output, whatever the cue card for the day is, matches whatever is on the card. We kind of figured that out together. Then on Thursday, on the 3rd, it says there's one snowman, but how many spheres are there? Oh, well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 3, plus there's still that 3 there. So we noticed that that was the pattern that seemed to happen. So today, we have another table. So if you take a look at the table today, we have nickels and cents. So we're putting 1 in, and we're ending up with 5 more. So let's think, how does 1 become 5? So 1 plus what number equals 5? So 1 plus 4 is 5. Does that work? I don't know. We know from this pattern that the number 10 needs to go in here. So I bet you that 1 times 5 is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15, which we haven't figured out multiplication yet. But if you take a look here, 5 blank 15, what is this going up by each time? A light bulb should be going up. Talked about skip counting last year. What's going on? What kind of skip jumping do we need? 5 blank 10 15. 5 10 15, right? We're skip jumping by 5s. So if you take a look, there is a pattern. This kind of goes with the pattern, which the date represents whatever is missing on the cue card. So I want you to think about it for when we come together on Friday. What do you think, what kind of card marker might be on Friday? Well, let's look. We got circle, table, question, array. Circle, table, question, array. Circle, table. What should be there? I'm thinking question. If you're thinking question, tap your head because you are probably right there with me. I think that tomorrow might be a question. We're going to be asking some sort of question, and the answer is going to match whatever the date is for the day. Okay. I'm going to move you with me and not drop my computer. So, yesterday, or the day before, sorry, I want to station you here. Okay. The day before we talked about this word. Oops, and I taped it down. I wish I wouldn't have. We talked about this word. This word is data. Data. And we talked all about data and what it meant. And we come together as a class and we found out that data is something that is collected, is information that is collected, right? We collect it. It's information that we collect from people. And we talked about this word. Survey. And I want you to say that with me. I know you're at home. Say survey. And a survey, which we talked about on the very first day of school, is questions that are asked and answered in order to collect data. And on the very first day, Miss Johanna had us do a survey, and the survey question was ways we like to work in class. So I had everyone in class vote, and they got to decide what was their favorite way to work in class. So some of us decided we liked to work alone. Some of us decided we liked to work with a partner. Some of us like to work in a small group. And some of us like to work together as a whole class. Now, if you were here with me today, I would have you come up with survey questions that we could create as a class. But since you're not here with me, today for your assignment, I would like you to come up with 3 survey questions that we could ask the class. So I'm going to give you an example. An example of a survey question would be, what is your favorite kind of ice cream? And then you'd give 4 options, right? Chocolate chip cookie dough, Superman, strawberry, or chocolate. And then you'd have everybody answer the survey question. So today for your assignment, I would like you to come up with 3 survey questions that you can share with me on Friday. But before we do that, let's take a look at our graph that we made on on Tuesday. So, and I'm going to scoot you down closer so that you can see. Oops, that's too low. Hold on. Sorry, guys. So if you take a look, our graph, each one of these bars represents how much? You should be saying 2, Miss Johanna. Each one represents 2. So when we go to count to see how many are in each column, we had everyone in class voting on these. So if we have 22 students, you should be thinking in your head, well, we had 22 students. There should be a total. If I were to add up all of these should be 22 total. So let's count together. Count with me. I know you're at home, but count with me. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 10 people that wanted to work alone. Oops, did I just say 10? Yeah. 10 people wanted to work alone. And we got to make sure we label. Okay. How many people wanted to work with a partner? Let's see. We got 2, 4, 6, 8. Can I count that as 8? No, because it's half. So if this whole bar represents 2, half of it would represent 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 people like to work with a partner. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. 2, 4, 6, 7 people like to work with a partner. Let's see how many people like to work in a small group. Well, we have 2 and 1 more left over. That makes 3. 3 people like to work in a small group. And last but not least, we have whole class. How many people like to work whole class? Well, 1 bar represents 2, so there are 2 people that like to work whole class. And if I were to add all these numbers up, 10, 7, 3, and 2, what should be my total answer? I want you to think. Think about how many kids we have in our class and think about how many people participated. So that should be 22. I want you to double check that while you're at home. Add 10, 7, 3, and 2 and see if that adds up to 22. And if it does add up to 22, then on Friday you can tell me, Miss Johanna, we completed our survey accurately. It was accurate and enough people participated. So last but not least, your job is for today. 1, you need to write 3 survey questions. For instance, a survey question is something that you can collect data on. So this was a survey question, ways we like to work in class. Then we picked our 4 topics, okay? I gave you another option would be, you would ask people, what's your favorite kind of ice cream? Chocolate chip, Superman, Blue Moon, or strawberry, and then you're going to collect data. I want you to come up with 3 different survey questions with the topics. I'm going to write that on a sheet of paper. And I also want you to add these numbers up, 10, 7, 3, and 2, and make sure they add up to 22. And if they don't, we made a mistake and our survey is not accurate. And if they do, then we didn't make any mistakes. Sound like a plan? I also want you, while you're here, to take a look. What in class, what students like to work which way the most? Do they like to work alone the most? Do they like to work with a partner the most? Do they like to work in a small group the most? Do they like to work in a whole class? I want you to think about that. Students like to do what the most? That means the most amount. And they like to do the greatest amount. And they don't like to work whole class. So I will see you Friday.